This is such a bop. This is so beautiful. My mind is freaking blown. Hello, Claire Bears. It's Elsie. Welcome to my channel. If you are new and if you are returning, welcome back. Folks, comeback season is upon us again, and I am so excited. The name chapter Freefall was one of my favorite concepts of, I think, any K-pop album ever. I had so much fun reacting to that album, but like no one watched my reaction. So definitely go watch that if you haven't yet. And I'm so curious to see here now, since this is a mini-sode and probably a transition album between our next chapter, what exactly it's going to look like. So this is likely going to be a two-parter because of Hybe's weird rules about how many songs can be in one video. So this first part, I'm going to react to the trailer, as well as I'll See You There Tomorrow and Deja Vu, and then the final 4 songs on the album will be in the second part. So let's get to the video, but before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel. For today's beverage of the day, I have an Ocean Spray sparkling cranberry mango juice. I feel like this is good for folks who maybe don't love sparkling flavored water, but juice is just like too sweet for them, because this is kind of like a nice in-between. All right, so we're gonna get started here with the concept trailer. Wouldn't feel like a complete reaction without it. And based on the concept photos that I saw of all of the members wearing crowns, I'm wondering if this is going to have a Little Prince theme. It's very strange for me to be saying Little Prince. I know it as Le Petit Prince, and I feel like every French-Canadian kid growing up was forced to read this as a child, but it's been a while, so I refreshed my memory on Le Petit Prince just in case. Oh my god, I did it again. And honestly, I feel like it's surprised me now that I realize that this might be a concept that they haven't actually done something like this before because of the themes of Le Petit Prince. The Little Prince, when so many of TXT's concepts are about youth and, you know, retaining youth. And then based on the fact that with our starting image of the concept trailer that we're starting off in the desert, which I think is like one of the first scenes in the book of the character, I don't remember their name, is a pilot and crash lands in the desert. And that's where they meet the Little Prince. So let's watch. Is this going to be stop motion-y, kind of like Nap of a Star? If you come at 4 in the afternoon, I'll begin to be happy from 3. Oh. This is so cute. Little Fennec Fox. Storm's coming.
그래서
It is.
비유빌리 소행성이고 다들 왕자들이라는 거지 지금.
네.
근데 내가 그걸 어떻게 믿지?
그럼 전 아저씨가 형사인 걸 어떻게 믿죠?
This is like a movie.
이제 진실을 말해볼까?
So is the fox's name Tomorrow? This feels like extra nostalgic for me because I have a museum in my city that is like exactly like this, where they had almost like what's the word, taxidermy animals, and I used to go there all the time as a kid. So this is like eerie. It's like a relic of the past, the fox, now that he's taxidermied in a museum. Oh. Is this a song on the album? Not the star. And you know what? Them being in a forest almost feels like the island, but when all of the leaves have fallen off the trees, and it feels like kind of that snow melt between winter and spring, where it's just like mucky and the leaves haven't grown on the trees yet, so it's just still a little bit desolate feeling. It almost feels like as if this were the magic island if it had transitioned from, you know, winter to spring. Wait a second.
12 seconds later.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dodoy. I knew I recognized that song. So not a new one, but a different version. And they're doing their, you know, grown-up jobs now. Ooh. It's almost like glitching. This actually feels like a full-on movie that we're watching. And that was the detective, wasn't it? No. Oh my goodness. I don't know why that just like hit me. I like that they give Fennec Fox the credit, the acting credit. Oh my gosh. That was so touching, especially this just like, I've never stopped waiting for you. And it feels like the fox kind of symbolizes that inner child that is still there, and that this whole trailer really feels like them trying to realize that. And it feels like a shift for TXT, because in the past it felt like they were holding on with an iron grip to their, you know, childhood innocence and youth, but now it's almost like they lost it, especially when they showed those scenes of them working in their adult jobs and it being that like gritty kind of lifeless color to it, almost like the little prince decided to grow up but now is trying to get that childhood innocence back, or at least, you know, remember the magic of childhood. And I feel like especially with Gen Z in particular, that there's just like this fear of growing up or like aging specifically. But honestly, my 30s have been some of my best years of my life. I talked about this a little bit in my TXT, my free fall reaction, but I had seen like a TikTok or something where someone talked about how your 30s is almost about reliving and re-experiencing the things that you enjoyed as a child, because so much of your 20s is just like figuring stuff out, but then your 30s is just like really settling into the life that you've built and enjoying the things that you enjoyed before adulthood. You have the time and the disposable income, hopefully, to be able to enjoy those things. But now I'm kind of like at this pivotal period where I'm hoping next year I'll be able to have a child of my own. So this feels very like raw and present for me and my life right now, that transition of almost like reliving those pieces of my childhood that I enjoyed, right to, you know, creating that childhood for a new person that I am hoping to bring into the world. It feels very present, and I'm sure this trailer just like had so many different meanings for different people, but that's what I love about this. It's like I feel like so many people watching this probably related to this so closely, and so I really appreciate that about this so much. Whew, but okay. Let's get to our first song on the album, I'll See You There Tomorrow. And we're gonna be using Shadow by Yoongi lyric videos for this. And so I am recording this only hours after this album has come out. So huge kudos to Shadow by Yoongi for taking the time to create this. So, you know, if there are mistakes here and there, we can forgive those because they were kind enough to put these out so fast. So, moment of appreciation for Shadow by Yoongi and all of the incredible folks who take the time to make these lyric videos. Now, let's get to the song and see how we start off this album.
Someone like you 이 세상 단 하나 서로를 길들여진 너와 난 도망치고 싶다 나에게 내일 또 만나 말해주던 날 반짝임의 유혹에
Deceived by the sparkle.
네 손을 다 놓친 채
Is this gonna be like a garage, like UK garage song?
우리 너의 한마디 나는 믿어 we are meant to be 늦어져도 돼 나는 여기 내일에서 기다릴 테니 There'll be no more sorrow I see you there tomorrow There'll be no more sorrow I see you there tomorrow
This is such a bop.
There'll be no more sorrow I see you there tomorrow There'll be no more sorrow I see you there tomorrow There'll be no more sorrow I see you there tomorrow
Can I just say, I am absolutely loving the UK garage renaissance that is happening in K-pop right now. If you watch any other reactions on my channel, you're probably so tired of hearing me talk about this, but this is just one of my favorite genres of music, and it's also nostalgic for me because I grew up listening to garage house from like the late 90s, early 2000s, and then Settle by Disclosure is one of my favorite albums of all time. Okay, I realized that I forgot to look up the songwriters for this, and I see Yeonjun, Hyunin Kai, and Taehyun, but I also see MNEK, who is, you know, like MNEK. He does like UK garage house music himself with a lot of like queer themes. Oh my gosh, and produced by Shiftki. So I am just living for this so far. Oh, this is so cool. But yes, back to the song itself. The lyrics almost feel like it's reuniting with a childhood friend or lover, because he says, you and I are the only ones in this world who've tamed each other. The child who told me, see you tomorrow, when I wanted to run away. It's kind of like this person kept you grounded, kept you going when maybe you didn't want to anymore. And then deceived by the sparkle, I let go of your hand. So like something that seemed maybe more exciting drew them away. And after wandering for a while, I realized your words from a long time ago. I believe we're meant to be. It doesn't matter if it's late. I'm always here and I'll wait for you tomorrow. So it almost feels like being able to carry something from your childhood into the future. And that for this song specifically in the album, it's about like carrying or reuniting with a childhood friend or childhood love. I don't know, maybe it'll become clearer as we continue. But yeah, now that I know that MNEK is involved in this, I hear it. Oh, your golden hair. Ooh, those deep vocals. This actually sounds like a Disclosure song. I'm obsessed. Oh, this would be a great song to like dance in the club too. I'm really trying not to dance too much. Ooh. The promise. We'll go beyond together. This even feels like the same structure, where there's like that breakdown that kind of slows it down right after the second chorus and then picks it back up. Ugh. What an amazing start to this album. It's actually gonna be so hard for them to top this song for me. My mind is freaking blown because this song just like feels like it was written for it feels like it was written for me, with this TXT doing UK garage with actual UK garage producers and songwriters. So yes, off to a fantastic start, and I'm honestly just gonna get right into the music video because I feel like I pretty much said it all, and I'm excited to see what this title track, this music video, has in store for us and how they maybe continue the themes of the trailer here. Only one way to find out really, with Deja Vu. Since some of those things are precious but invisible to the eye, we forget them as life passes by. Oh, that rhymes. Ooh. Dust piled crown. Kind of evoking their debut. This almost looks like an earlier era Bumgyu here, you know, when he had longer hair. But there's this like nostalgic element to this song as well, where like those synths almost feel like video gamey, like almost like an 8-bit vibe to them, something you might hear in like a Mario game or something, but at the same time still has like this melancholic undertone to it. But yeah, it definitely feels like a continuation of the vibe from I'll See You There Tomorrow, especially with the first line talking about I ran away countless times, leaving you waiting at the starting line. And lines like you and I under the starlit promise before our dust-piled crown. Yeah, it's so reminiscent of their debut and like they're revisiting that. But this definitely feels like it could be the soundtrack to like a childhood friends to lovers romance with My Future Is You, I'll hug you tight as promised on the first day. And you're like deja vu of this part of your past coming into your present, and then based on what they're saying here, your future as well. Yeah, I think this is where we left off, so let's continue.
나를 태우는 그 불꽃빛 속에 연극같이 긴 여행 속에 너와 나는 슬픔은 clarity 너의 눈물 곁으로 어주하게 오는 순간에도 넌 아닌 무너진 베어틈에 너와 나의 place of promise 지게 되지 영원의 베기 날 기다려줬던 넌 기억해 마침내 찾아내서 나의
And those outfits felt very like princely. And of course, like that shot of them waking up in their bedroom, like so many callbacks to the past. Oh. I'll hug you tight, who's shining like a bride. This is so beautiful. He's like an angel. Yeah, like, it just feels like it's evoking so many different TXT eras, like that little angsty era that they had as well kind of felt present there in different parts. And the land of rest, the return of eternity. And I'm not too sure what this kind of like colorful magic type of liquid means, but it almost feels like it's that magic trying to make its way back into their lives, especially when they're in these like very boring and bleak apartments. But then it's when they're all back together again that it feels like they're in this like grassy area that looks like it's life trying to rebuild itself. So yeah, I just love everything that this album is bringing so far. So that's it for part 1. Part 2, we're going to be going into the rest of the B-sides, so make sure you check that out right here. So if you'll be moving on to part 2, I'll see you shortly. If not, thank you so much for watching.